This video is for the sole purpose of showing you how I found the cause of a pulsating flame on this boiler and what I did to fix it. It's not to give technical advice to you. It's just showing you how I did it. If you have this issue and you never worked on these before, call a tech. Today, I'm working on this boiler. The complaint on this boiler is that it would fire up and start pulsing where the flame would go out, the motor would keep running, the flame would come back on. This is causing a fume situation, and to me, it looks like something's impeding the delivery of the fuel. It could be this fuel filter's dirty, the fuel filter in the pump is dirty, the nozzle inside might be clogged. That's what I'm thinking it is, or it could be that it's a weak pump. So I'm going to start first by checking this filter and more than likely changing it. From there, I'll go to the nozzle, and if it's neither one of these, the next thing I'll be taking apart is this fuel pump. There's a filter inside. So I'm going to get this out and see what that looks like. I'm back now. I removed the can that holds the filter and I took it outside, because no matter what you do, you always get a little spillage in the house, and not to have the smell of diesel in the house. This is just a coffee can, a metal coffee can that I cut, that I use for when I remove these filters. I slide it underneath so anything that drips will drip into that can. And it looks like we found the problem right off the bat. Take a look at this filter. Look how clogged that is. Now, this, whatever you want to call it, debris, didn't get past the filter, go through the line, get into the pump, past the pump, and get into the nozzle. Nozzle's not a big thing. The pump in this particular boiler, it's a little difficult to get at the way it's positioned. But the first thing I'm going to do, get rid of this filter, clean this canister out, put a new filter in, start it up and see if it runs okay. If it runs okay, this is it. If not, we got to continue down the line. Now, when replacing this filter, don't forget to put the gasket in that goes in between the cup and the lid, and there's that little gasket up here. They come with the filter. Just replace them when you get them. I don't know if this is recommended or not, but I put a little heating oil in here, so when this pump starts working, it starts drawing in and it lubricates the pump. So let's see what happens now that I change this filter. I should have started by now because I had a little bit of oil in there. And the spark. If these gaskets aren't seated right and it's sucking in the air, this won't start. Well, the filter had to be changed, but when I started the boiler up, it did the same thing. The flame would pulse, and sometimes it would go out altogether. It didn't show it in the previous part of the video, but the flame would go out altogether and come back on, or it would just keep pulsing. Took the nozzle out, and the nozzle was in good shape. It wasn't dirty. Just cleaned it up a little bit. There was nothing there. Took this line off the feed tube, just in case there was something blocking it in here. This was clear. Took the filter out of this pump, cleaned it out, put it back in, did the same thing all over again. Now, if you had a pressure gauge, you could put the pressure gauge on here to see how much pressure the pump was pumping. Oh, by the way, plenty of fuel in the tank. Back to this pump, you could see how much pressure was in there. I had another pump. I replaced this pump, and once I replaced the pump, it fired up and it kept a steady flame. Now this flame has to be adjusted. The air ratio and everything is off on this, but it does run, and it runs steady without that pulsing. So I'm going to start it up again. I don't believe I mentioned this before. When you change the filter, if you bleed the air out through this bolt, there is a gasket under here. This gasket and this gasket here come with the filter. So if you open this up, replace it. If you don't open it up and just let it go through, I leave it. If you haven't worked on these pumps before, don't try this yourself. Call a tech in. I've been watching this flame for a while, and it hasn't been pulsing at all. Burning steady. It's not burning correctly, but it's burning steady. Never went out. And I have to adjust this flame, and the air adjustments are on the side over here. But it is running, and it hasn't gone out. So that's it. That's a wrap. If you found this video useful, let me know by posting your comment down below. Give it a like. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe. Until next time, stay warm and stay safe.